Hi guys. This year I finally made the switch to the Falcon Show Player on a Raspberry Pi and will only be using the xScheduler as a backup. I have this interactive button box that was programmed to send REST API commands to the xScheduler using an ESP32 with a serial to Ethernet module. Once I change the sketch in the ESP32 to send REST commands to the FPP instead, if the Pi crashes in the middle of a show schedule, it will be a tedious task to open the box, remove the ESP32, and reflash it with a new sketch for the xScheduler. So I needed a communication protocol that both xScheduler and FPP can understand, and the solution I chose was MQTT. This allowed me to write a sketch for the ESP32 that sends two MQTT commands that both FPP and xScheduler would respond to in the same way. The playlists are different, but here you'll see that both FPP and xSchedule responds in the same way when the buttons are pressed. The sound you hear is from xSchedule. Here I push the next button. Again I push the next button. And now I push the back button. In this video, I will briefly explain MQTT and show how to configure on both xScheduler and FPP. I will also review the section of the sketch that publishes the MQTT commands. MQTT is a lightweight machine-to-machine communication protocol. It will run on a small IoT device because of its low resource requirement. The messaging process requires a broker, which is similar to a post office, a publisher who sends the message, and a subscriber who wants to receive the message. Mosquito is a popular open source broker that can be installed on many platforms, including a Raspberry Pi. The ESP32 publishes the message called topic, and both FPP and xScheduler subscribes to the message or topic. The broker receives the message and immediately sends it to all subscribers. In my environment, I have Mosquito running as an add-on to a home automation software called Home Assistant, which runs on a Raspberry Pi. To configure MQTT in FPP, click the Status/Control menu and select FPP Settings. Click MQTT in the button menu at the top. Enter the IP address of the broker and leave the default port. Client ID and topic prefix are optional. Enter the username and password for an account with access. I suggest creating an account specific for FPP only. If the broker is configured for secure access, then enter the path for the certificate file in the section provided. FPP will require a reboot at this time. To see a list of topics that FPP is subscribed to by design, click Help in the top menu and select FPP Command Help. Then scroll to the end when the document loads. The two topics that I'll be using in this demo are Playlist Next and Playlist Prev or Previous. Select Edit from the menu at the top and click Event. Then click Add to the right of the event window. Click the down arrow to the right of the event field and select MQTT. Enter the IP address for the broker and leave the port as default. The client ID is optional, so you may leave it at default. In the topic field, enter the same topic that FPP is subscribed to by default. Enter the username and password for a MQTT account with access. Enter the name of the event in the event field. In this example, button Next is used. Select Next Step in the current playlist from the command field. Click OK to close this window. Click Add to add a new event. Repeat the process for the button Next, except for the topic, which will be the previous event topic for FPP. The event name is Button Back. And the command is prior step in the current playlist. This script is a modified version of the xSchedule button.ino found in the xLite GitHub repository. Converted to run on first the ESP8266, then the ESP32, and now the ESP32 with a serial to Ethernet module. The current modification only changes the send data function from using REST API to MQTT as shown. The event sends a next or prev topic along with values. The values are not necessary and will be ignored by both FPP and xSchedule. A copy of the script is found in my GitHub repository. Link in the description below. FPP is a subscriber by default, but can also be configured to publish FPP and playlist status. This is useful to many home automation software like Home Assistant. A good way to explore the MQTT data to and from FPP is to use a free software called MQTT Explorer. It simplifies the process of monitoring, managing, and debugging MQTT communications, providing an intuitive interface for interacting with MQTT brokers and the messages transmitted within an MQTT network. Notice the messaging data in the MQTT Explorer on the right. It includes FPP and playlist status, including the button press event sent from within the Explorer. Compared to REST, MQTT's protocol overhead is much smaller, making it more efficient for devices with limited resources. It is a very good candidate for other show props and show automations, from simple triggers to more complex data exchange. Thanks for watching.